Okay, hello everyone. In this video I will try to cover about the constructor overloading, method overloading, self-reference in C Sharp. If not, there will be a part 2 of this video. Um, the YouTube limits your video length to 10 minutes, so I will try my level best to cover all these 4 topics in 10 minutes by showing you some code execution. Okay, so let's see what a constructor is. Okay, in a class, when you define a constructor, what you should do is the constructor name should be same as the class name. That's point number one, which you should remember. Second is it does not have a return type. That is, as you can see in this slide, this is the class name, which is A. This is the constructor name, okay, which is also A. So these two are the same. And when I say it does not have a return type, what I mean is, observe in this function, okay, it says public void add. The void, which is in red color, this is the return type. For all the functions, a return type is mandatory. Either it can be void or integer, or it can be float, string, whatever you want. But observe in this part, okay, in the constructor you doesn't have a return type. Okay, so the constructor can also be overloaded. Okay, let's see what I mean by overloading it. Okay, so this is a typical example of a overloading a constructor. So when I say overloading, in a class you will have more than, okay, you will have more than one constructor which has the same name. Okay, so this is a constructor, this is a constructor, as it does not have a return type and the name is same as the class name. Here it is 0 parameterized constructor, which is a default one, and we have an overloaded one. This is the user defined constructor with one parameter. Okay, so this is called overloading. Same name with a different number of parameters for a constructor. Okay, we also have something called method overloading. Even in method overloading it is the same. Alright, understand, even in method overloading it is the same. That is, in a class you have methods which has the same name. As you can see in this class, we have a method called add which is the same name. The thing is, this is 0 parameters containing function, and this is a 2 parameter containing function. Okay, so this is overloading a method or a function. But observe here, the return type is void and void. So in function, what can happen is, you can overload a function by changing the number of parameter list, and alright, and also by changing the return type. Next slide will explain you what I actually mean. So here is the overloading method with the change in number of parameters and also the return type. So public void add, so this is one function with the name add. This is another function with the name add, which has a change in the return type and also the change in the parameter list. Okay, sorry about that. So whatever I've explained till now, I've just mentioned those things in a point, saying that when I say overloaded, the function name or the constructor name will be same, but it will be duplicated. The parameter list need to be changed if you say it is overloaded. Constructor does not have a return type, but the function do have, so you can even overload a function by changing the return type. Okay, so another topic which I would like to cover in this video is self-reference in C Sharp, that is using the this keyword. So now we will take up a few code examples and we'll try to execute it and try to understand the concepts. Okay, concepts of C Sharp. Okay, now I actually have a simple class called test. Let me delete this code. Okay, let me delete this code. Okay, so now I will do something like this. I will create an object test obj new test. Okay, So one thing by this time which you should have already known is, whenever I create an object or whenever I try to create or instantiate a class, the constructor will be automatically called. Okay, so the constructor will be automatically called. Okay, so observe here. So we are trying to create, create an object which would call the constructor, an implicit constructor which the compiler will automatically include when we execute the code. Okay, console dot read. This is a statement which is similar to get ch in C. Okay, so that you will be able to see the output on your screen. So now let's try to execute this. And there you go, this is a statement, so it is executing properly, is it? So now when I said implicit constructor, let me define or state the implicit constructor explicitly in the class. I'll say something like this: public test. Okay, this what will happen when you compile your code and execute it. When you instantiate an object, so this part, this part will be automatically inserted by the compiler, but just to show that it doesn't make any difference, I'm trying to insert that code and show you what will happen if I execute this. It will all be the same, but still I just want to show you. Okay, see, there is no change. But why do we need constructor is, if we have any initialization which has to be done at that point of time, we actually need constructors. Okay, now let me just overload this constructor. Okay, I'll say something like this: public, public test int a. Okay, and let me delete this. Okay, implicit constructor will also be there, but I'm overloading it using a parameter. Now I'll say something like this: system dot console dot write line, and I'll try to print the value of a. Okay, so now observe here very carefully. Okay, observe here very carefully. You have already overloaded the constructor. So when you want to define or instantiate an object, you also need to pass a parameter in the constructor, because you have already overloaded it. If I try to execute this, it will show me an error. Okay, it will show me an error. The error is, this test class does not contain a constructor that takes 0 argument, because you have overloaded it. Okay, try to understand, you have overloaded it. So what you need to do is, you have to say some number. I'll say 100. Okay, I'll say 100, and now I will try to execute it. When I execute it, what should happen is, it should print 100, and then it should print, this is a statement, is it? So let's see what will happen here. See, 100, and this is a statement. Now let me take a similar example. Okay, now let me take a similar example and try to overload a function. Okay, so now I'll say something like this: public void add, I'll say int a comma int b. Okay, and I'll try to print the result here. Okay, added value is, say, int c equal to a plus b, and here I should say c, and I should call this method obj dot add, and I should say add 3 plus 5, and I should try to execute it. Okay, see, the added value is 8. It is showing us properly. So now we have an add function which will add 2 numbers. Now what if I need to add 3 numbers? Okay, let's see what exactly I need to do for that. Okay, I'll copy this, paste it here. Now instead of 2, I will say 3. Okay, I want plus C also here, and here let me change this to D and say 3 added values. Okay, 3 added values D, and here I'll say obj. Okay, obj dot add, and I will say add 4 plus 6 plus 6, so it should give us 16. Okay, it should give us 16. So the first should add 2 numbers, the next should add 3 numbers. So let's execute and see. So there you go, the first is 8 and the next is 16, as we expected. Okay, so the time is already up. It's 11 minutes 10 seconds. I will try to upload this video with to 12 minutes one. If not possible, I will split the video, and I will also try to include the self-referencing in C# using this keyword. So I'll stop this video right here, and we will continue in the next one. Thank you so much.